She walked into the bank with millions in the balance, and was treated like she didn't belong there. A single glance was all it took. The teller's smile vanished. The line behind her went quiet. Next, the teller snapped, looking straight past her. People stared. Whispers started. And the humiliation hit hard. Denied service. No explanation. No apology. Just pure, cold disrespect. But here's the part that should terrify everyone in that room. The woman they were embarrassing wasn't there to open an account. She wasn't there for a loan. She was there to test them. And in less than 5 minutes, one careless decision would end a career, expose a secret, and flip the entire bank upside down. The teller had no idea who she was talking to. No idea what was about to happen. And no idea that every word she spoke was sealing her fate. So ask yourself this. What would you do if the person you judged controlled your future? Because when the truth comes out, it won't just be shocking. It will be unforgettable. Stay with me, and make sure you like and subscribe. Because the emotional payoff at the end of this story will leave you speechless. The bank looked like power made of glass and marble. Tall ceilings. Silent air. Money moving without a sound. To most people, this place decided futures. To her, it was just another building. She adjusted her coat and stepped forward, calm, composed, unreadable. No cameras followed her. No assistants. No security detail. Just a woman standing alone at a counter where respect was supposed to be automatic. But respect was the one thing she didn't get. The teller barely glanced up. Then came the sigh. The slow eye roll. The look that said, "You're wasting my time." "Do you even have an appointment?" the teller asked, loud enough for others to hear. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Someone smirked. Someone else looked away. The woman calmly placed her ID on the counter. "I need to access my account," she said, voice steady. The teller didn't touch the ID. Instead, she leaned back, arms crossed. "This branch handles premium clients," she said, dragging out the words. "You should try another location." That was the moment. The moment the room changed. Because what no one knew, what no one imagined, was that this bank didn't just hold her money. It answered to her. She wasn't nervous. She wasn't embarrassed. She was watching. Testing. Timing everything. Her eyes flicked briefly to the wall clock. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. "Are you refusing service?" she asked quietly. The teller laughed. A sharp, careless sound. "I'm saying you don't fit the profile," she replied. That sentence landed like a slap. A man in line shook his head. A woman whispered, "That's not right." Still, no one intervened. The woman picked up her ID slowly. Very slowly. And that's when she did something unexpected. She smiled. Not because it was funny. But because the trap had closed. Because upstairs, in a private office, a meeting had already begun. And in just moments, the same teller who felt powerful behind that counter would understand what it truly meant. To deny the wrong person. The teller turned to her screen, already dismissing her. Fingers tapping. Power assumed. "Next customer," she said, waving her hand. That was when the woman spoke again. "Before you do that," she said calmly, "could you call your branch manager?" The teller scoffed. "For what?" "For refusing service," the woman replied. "I'd like it documented." A beat. The teller laughed louder this time. A laugh meant to embarrass. A laugh meant to dominate. "Listen," she said, lowering her voice but not her attitude, "people like you always come in here trying something. I'm not getting my manager for this." That sentence echoed. "People like you." The air thickened. A security guard shifted his weight. A man in a suit frowned. The woman didn't raise her voice. Didn't flinch. Didn't argue. Instead, she reached into her bag. The teller's eyes narrowed instantly. "Ma'am, don't make this difficult," the teller warned. "If you don't move, I'll call security." The woman placed a single black card on the counter. No logos. No bank name. Just her name engraved in silver. The guard leaned closer. Someone in line gasped quietly. The teller didn't notice. "Last chance," the teller snapped. "Step aside." The woman finally looked her directly in the eyes. "I suggest," she said softly, "you make the call." Upstairs, the elevator doors opened. A group of executives stepped out. Suits sharp. Faces serious. At the center of them, the regional director of operations. He checked his watch. "Where is she?" he asked. Back downstairs, the teller hit a button under the counter. Security alert. The wrong one. And that single mistake would be the spark that burned everything down. Because when the manager arrived, when the truth surfaced, when the cameras were reviewed, the bank wouldn't just owe an apology. It would owe someone their job. And we are just getting started. The branch manager arrived fast. Too fast. His smile was tight. Professional. Forced. "What seems to be the problem here?" he asked. The teller straightened instantly, confidence returning. "This woman is causing a disturbance," she said quickly. "She doesn't have an appointment and refuses to leave." A lie. Clean. Confident. The manager turned to the woman, already half decided. "Ma'am, if you don't meet our service requirements." "That's interesting," the woman interrupted softly. "Because your website says walk-ins are welcome." The manager blinked. She continued, calm as glass. "And your policy states no customer can be denied service based on appearance, tone, or assumptions." Silence. The teller shot her a look. "Sir, she's quoting random stuff she found online." The woman reached into her bag again. This time, she pulled out her phone. She tapped once. Across the bank, a large monitor behind the tellers flickered. Then froze. Then changed. A live video feed appeared. The branch lobby. This exact moment. Gasps rippled through the room. "What is this?" the manager demanded. The woman didn't look away from the teller. "Your internal compliance audit," she said. Live. The teller's face drained of color. Because now, every eye was watching. Every word recorded. Every mistake permanent. The manager's phone buzzed. Once. Twice. He answered. "Yes, she's here, downstairs." His posture changed. His voice dropped. "Yes, sir. I understand." He ended the call slowly. Then he looked at the woman again. This time, there was no doubt in his eyes. There was recognition. And fear. The teller laughed nervously. "Sir. What's going on?" The manager swallowed. He stepped aside. And for the first time since she walked in, someone spoke her name with respect. "Welcome," he said quietly. "Ma'am." The teller's smile collapsed. Because upstairs, the executives were already watching the footage. The whispers. The refusal. The phrase, "people like you." And in less than 60 seconds, a decision would be made. A final one. The room felt smaller now. Like the walls were closing in. The teller glanced around, suddenly aware of the eyes on her. Customers. Security. Cameras she had forgotten existed. "Sir." She whispered. "Why are they watching us?" The manager didn't answer. Instead, he turned to security. "Please stand by," he said. His voice wasn't steady anymore. The woman stepped forward, just one step. Not aggressive. Not loud. Controlled. "I'd like to complete my transaction now," she said. "And after that, I'd like to see the incident report." The teller's hands trembled. I need approval for that." "You had approval," the woman replied. "You chose not to use it." A notification chimed on the manager's phone again. This time, he put it on speaker. A voice filled the bank. Calm. Authoritative. "Is this the employee who denied service?" The teller froze. "Yes," the manager said quietly. "Put her on the line." The teller shook her head. No, I didn't mean." But it was too late. Her own words echoed from the speakers. Replayed. Clear. Undeniable. "You don't fit the profile. People like you." A woman in line covered her mouth. A man muttered, "Unbelievable." The voice on the phone spoke again. Effective immediately, it said, "This employee is terminated." The words hit like thunder. The teller's badge was removed on the spot. Security stepped closer, not to the woman, but to her. Tears welled up. Regret arrived too late. The woman said nothing. She didn't need to. Because the real shock. The identity reveal. The reason this test even existed. That was still coming. And when it did, the entire bank would understand just how close they came to destroying themselves. The bank went dead silent. You could hear breathing. Shallow. Nervous. The fired teller stood frozen, eyes wide, like she was waiting for someone to say this as a joke. No one did. The manager cleared his throat, hands shaking now. He turned to the woman. "Ma'am, we sincerely apologize for." She raised one finger. The room stopped again. "I didn't come here for an apology," she said. "I came here for the truth." She slowly turned to face everyone. The customers. The staff. The cameras. Moments ago, she continued, you watched an employee judge, humiliate, and deny service, based on nothing but assumption. Her voice wasn't angry. That was worse. This wasn't a mistake, she said. It was a habit. Murmurs spread like wildfire. The manager swallowed hard. "Ma'am, may I ask who you?" She reached into her bag one last time. This time, she pulled out a slim folder. She opened it. And placed it flat on the counter. At the top of the document, bold and unmistakable, were the words. Office of the Chief Executive Officer. The manager's face drained of color. One woman gasped. A man whispered, "No way." The woman finally said it. "My name is." But before she could finish, the elevator dinged. Heads snapped around. The doors opened. And every executive from upstairs stepped into the lobby. All eyes locked on her. Every single one of them nodded. That's when reality hit. This wasn't a customer. This wasn't a test anymore. This was ownership. Power. And consequences. The woman closed the folder slowly. And this, she said, voice calm but final, is only the beginning. Because what she planned to do next would shake the entire bank. Expose more than one employee. And change policies forever. The CEO's full identity is revealed. More heads roll. And the emotional payoff will be unforgettable. Don't miss it. The executives didn't speak at first. They didn't need to. Their posture said everything. Straight backs. Hands folded. Eyes fixed on her like soldiers awaiting orders. The woman, calm, composed, stepped slightly away from the counter so everyone could see her clearly. No more whispers, she said. No more guessing. She looked directly at the manager. You asked who I am. She turned to face the entire lobby. My name is Amara Cole, she said. And I am the chief executive officer of this bank. The words didn't explode. They collapsed the room. A man dropped his phone. A woman gasped out loud. The security guard froze mid-step. The manager's knees nearly buckled. The former teller, now standing off to the side, badge gone, stared in disbelief, mouth open, color completely drained from her face. No, no, that's not possible, she whispered. Amara didn't look at her. For the past 6 months, Amara continued, I've been visiting branches anonymously. No assistance. No announcements. No warnings. She gestured calmly to the ceiling. Every visit recorded. Every interaction reviewed. She paused. And what happened today, she said, was not rare. That sentence hurt more than the firing. The regional director stepped forward. Ma'am, we have documented similar complaints. Complaints are whispers, Amara cut in. I wanted evidence. She turned to the customers. You were witnesses, she said. And so were you. She nodded toward the cameras again. A woman from the line spoke up, her voice shaking. She didn't deserve that. None of it. Amara nodded once. You're right. Then she turned back to the former teller. For the first time, she looked directly at her. You judged me the moment I walked in, Amara said calmly. You decided my value without knowing my name, my position, or my history. The teller's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, she stammered. I didn't know. That, Amara said firmly, is the problem. Silence. You should not need to know who someone is to treat them with dignity. The words landed heavy. Amara opened the folder again and handed it to the manager. Effective immediately, she said, this branch is under internal review. Management included. The manager nodded rapidly. Yes, ma'am. Of course. Second, Amara continued, every employee here will undergo retraining. Not optional. She looked around. And third, this incident will not be buried. Gasps again. It will be addressed company-wide. Transparently. The regional director hesitated. But, the press. I welcome them, Amara said. That confidence sent another wave through the room. She turned back to the customers. If any of you experienced or witnessed discrimination in this bank, or any of our branches, my office will hear from you personally. She handed out cards. Not black this time. White. Official. The former teller broke down completely now. I didn't mean it like that, she cried. Please. Amara's voice softened, but did not bend. Intent does not erase impact. Security gently escorted the former teller away. Not roughly. Not cruelly. Just final. The doors closed behind her. A chapter ended. Amara exhaled slowly. Then she did something unexpected. She walked back to the counter. I'd still like to complete my transaction, she said. A new teller, hands shaking, stepped forward immediately. Yes, ma'am. Right away. The transaction took less than a minute. When it was done, Amara didn't leave right away. She turned back to the room one last time. Today, she said, you saw how quickly power can shift. She met eyes with several people. But respect, she continued, should never depend on power. She nodded once. And walked out. Outside, the sun hit her face. Bright. Honest. Behind her, phones were already buzzing. Emails flying. Policies changing. One moment of bias had cost someone a job. And saved an institution from becoming something far worse. And that is the lesson. If this story moved you, shocked you, or made you think, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because stories like this don't just entertain. They remind us who we should be.